Good evening and welcome to the February 21st meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If everybody would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. We do not have any public hearings this evening. Any announcements from the board? Jerry, anything?
The only thing is I forwarded to our administrator the updated list of contact numbers for Lakeside Community Church for the purposes of emergency shelter. So we have their updated numbers.
David?
I do not.
Dwayne?
I don't.
Okay, and I'm all set. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? We're all set there. We have no appointments this evening. Public comment. Either one of you gentlemen want to comment? Treasurer's reports, correspondence, treasurer's reports, and the motor vehicle reports. Available if anybody is interested in reading them. You can access them through the website in the Selectmen's packet, or give a call here to Laura and she'll make sure that you get a copy. Reports and staff initiatives, Selectmen's reports. Dwayne, anything?
I do not. Road review is missing at least 2 members. Yeah, I guess the planning board and ZBA are having a workshop the middle of March with Natalie, the town attorney, so that we can get everybody up and going as far as the do's and the don'ts and the things that each member is required or should do. And I'm just hoping that every ZBA member, the liaison and the planning board members all attend this, along with anybody else that is interested. It's a public meeting, but it's a very important meeting to attend as far as membership goes.
Okay. Anything else, Dwayne?
Yeah, I think that will be it.
David?
No, I'm all set.
Okay. Gary?
Good.
Just quickly, I attended the planning board meeting the other night. There is a project headed back into the Dayfield, the Wright property, I guess Vicar Wright's property. I was concerned with the fact that the Waterboro Water District has declined offering public water to that new building, so we do have that on the agenda later this evening, so we'll have a discussion relative to that. Town Administrator Matt Bors.
Just to follow up, we have met with RS 57 regarding the costs that the transportation or transporting the recycling material from 3 buildings to our facility into Eco Maine. We'll follow up on them in 2 weeks. They're looking at the other options, what it might cost to have Casella, which they have another contract with currently, to take care of that. Otherwise, they completely understood our position. And that was just south of $13,000 what we estimate our costs to be annually. Dwayne mentioned about Natalie. If you guys are planning to attend that planning board meeting, just let us know and we'll post that meeting as well, so we can let the public know that the selectmen may be attending. The Budget Committee has wrapped up the review and recommendations for the fiscal year 23-24 budget. They began meeting the first week of January. Really appreciate their help. And we'll have the information to you for your next meeting, or prior actually. Per your request, we have coordinated and talked to Lee J regarding the medical marijuana and the potential for changes to the zoning ordinance that need to take place. He's going to be reaching out to the planning board shortly, if he hasn't already done so, or at least to the chair, send a message to her. Town of Alfred will be hosting a meeting with RSU 57 next Monday, February 27th at 3 p.m. Last year, I know Dwayne and Dennis attended. If anybody wants to partake with that, to have a conversation about the budget. Again, if we have 3 or more, we need to post that, so just let us know. But it's
When
at
is
3
it?
o'clock, Alfred Town Hall, next Monday.
Why don't we post that, because I'll probably attend this year as well.
So Laura, if you could do that. Thank you. A couple important dates to remember coming up. Wednesday, March 15th. Nomination papers will be available. These are provided from Marina. April 17th. That's the date in which we'll be starting to accept requests for absentee ballots. Monday, May 1st. Nomination papers will be due by the end of business day. Anything that comes in after that cannot be accepted. Monday, May 15th. This is when the absentee ballots should be available, pending any delays. Thursday, June 8th is the last day for someone to request an absentee ballot, and then Friday, June 9th is when we're going to be running the early processing for any and all ballots that have been received. And then voting on Tuesday.
Okay?
Thank you.
Just to kind of drop back to nomination papers. So we have terms for 2 Board of Selectmen, 1 school board member, 1 water district trustee, and 6 charter commission members. Just make sure that we're all aware of that. Anything else, man?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. New business. Discuss Board of Selectmen appointment of 3 charter committee members. We unfortunately, or fortunately, we were supposed to appoint 3 charter commission members within 30 days of the vote in November. We didn't do that, so there's no penalty if you don't do that, but we're in the process of, so if there are interest, or is interest on being an appointed charter commission members, we have the right to appoint 3. We can bring in an expert that person doesn't have to be a member of or a resident of the town of Waterboro, or a registered voter in the town of Waterboro. I don't see that happening, but, and we do have the right to appoint 1 municipal officer. So, if you are interested and would like to be appointed rather than run for that position, let us know, and we'll set an interview process up with the candidates that are interested in have an appointment, hopefully within the next couple of weeks or within the next month, certainly. And if there's any interest from the board as being an appointed member, just let us know. All right, item B.
That doesn't mean a board member can't run on the.
No, that's right, that's right.
You know, there's 2 or 3 ways there of getting on if there's any board members that want on.
Discuss vote for clarification of section 8.5 of the personnel property.
Policy.
So I'll toss, what?
Not property, the personal
Oh,
policy.
personnel policy. I'll toss that to you, man,
So
or you, Laura, or whatever.
Laura brought this to my attention that we need to address this. Obviously, if you're not aware, still we're moving towards the paychecks program to do the payroll processing and issuing the checks. When Laura's been going through all the documents and uploading the information to paychecks, this was identified as being an issue we need to clarify. Currently, in the document you have in front of you, section 8.5, current is identified there, that paragraph there, that's copied from our personnel policy. To define it a little bit further, there's a second section where it says proposed. So essentially, the town shall provide, which we already have retirement plans, but we need to define the contributions. The town shall provide full-time employees with retirement plan options consisting of the following. 1, Maine Public Employees Retirement System's defined benefit plan, M.R.S.A, and a 457 retirement plan option, which we have both today. And currently, on the Maine PERS, the regular plan, 65 years old retirement, employee 6.25, employers 8.5. That's the newer of the, because Maine PERS changed their guidelines. Some people that belong to PERS before fall under the regular plan, 60 years if you're grandfathered, and that's 7.0 and 8.5. And then we have the public safety 25-year no age, which is employee puts in 8.1 and town is 9.5. What we would like to see us do is to define that on the 457 that we will match the employee up to that defined plan, the regular plan for the others that are in PERS of 8.5. So if someone puts in 10%, 2%, we would do the 2%. If it's 3%, it's 3%, 4%, and so on. Today we don't have that, so that's why we wanted to put that in there as a gap.
Any discussion?
I think it's important that we put those specific numbers in there, because right now it's kind of wide open, the way the current policy reads. So I think we should act on this.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess my question would be, why just the full-time employees? Why the part-time employees that are, like if I have a part-time man or somebody working here, even in the office or whatever, why can't they pay into the PERS versus Social Security?
I believe when Gary set it up, he had set it up as only full-time.
So
Minimum of 35 hours per week. Yeah.
Realistically, I didn't agree with him at the time, I still don't agree with him, that this PERS should be.
I didn't
an
either at the
option.
time.
Yeah, right, but
I
it
was
should be an
part-time.
option either way. Public Works, now, I mean, if you've got a part-time employee through the summer that's paying into something, and he's worked for the state or worked for the government and taking PERS out of him constantly and never paid into Social Security, why wouldn't he want to pay into the PERS versus Social Security?
So I believe you can change that. I don't believe you can change it in here, in this specific policy. We'd have to go back for a vote again,
Yeah,
but we could.
but the selectmen could vote on it, not the townspeople.
Right.
So
I think
it's
that
a
is-
minor change, but
Well, we'd have to do an estimate of what the budget would be for that, because
Yes.
we'd have to find out what that costs.
So I guess, come back to us in 2 weeks with a number, right? And what action the board has to take to include, and I'm guessing it would be a proportionate, right?
Well, on the PERS, and I don't know how it works with the part-time, I'm assuming the language is the same with Maine PERS. The contributions are the same. There's a percentage of your.
We may have to find out if
So-
there's a minimum requirement
Right.
through them as well as far as
Right,
hours.
right.
Yeah.
So let's discuss that in 2 weeks.
realistically, I don't have a problem changing what they need changed here tonight, but we can change, I mean, we can be working on that PERS as
Yeah,
far
we
as,
can- yeah.
you know, I don't want to hold things up here, but I just feel that every employee ought to have the option.
So
You
Let's
know,
take a look at what that looks like.
Especially if you've got somebody that's come in out of the state and been paying into it. Some of them aren't quite old enough, they're old enough to retire, but not old enough to get their PERS yet, they could still be paying in.
It's definitely worth a discussion
And you-
once we have facts
You could have
from Maine
that PERS
PERS.
in your fire department.
let's find out what we have to change with main purse. And how that,
And
what's the cost, those kind of things, and we'll go from there.
so in this section here, the 8.5 doesn't have anything to do with the PERS.
Right.
It defines out the 457 portion.
Yep.
And that's what we, that's.
Which is a totally different plan. It's a
Correct.
match plan.
Okay, so what's your pleasure on the
And what you want to do is
8.5?
10A, the red section, is all you want for word added to that.
Just a section right there, that piece.
Oh, okay, the whole thing.
So I would make a motion that we accept the proposed policy change, section 8.5 under retirement, as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, discuss water district impacts with economic development. I think due to the, I'm not sure what their action plan is in the water district, but I think that we need to come to grips with the fact that it's now having a negative impact on the future economic development of the community.
This makes
So-
the second,
Yeah,
I mean,
Could you explain what's going on?
well, as I tried to mention earlier, the planning board had a proposal the other night for an expansion of a couple of buildings in the Dayfield, right, Victor Wright's property. So behind the child care,
Right.
he wants to put another office building, right? And then I think he's going to build a storage building, which is kind of irrelevant to water,
Right.
right?
Right.
But they approached, because both the complex that's there today and the child care facility that's there today are on public water. They approached the Waterboro Water District, and they said that they could not service the new the new business
Office
building,
building.
right? So this is the second time, and we've got another contract zoning ordinance that was approved almost 2 years ago now. He's running out of time, and for 36 apartments, and they told him that they couldn't service his facility until late 2023. So I'm not sure what is happening anymore, and we don't seem to have
much communication.
any answers from what's going on there. So at the risk of doing something radical like having a vote of the Waterboro Water District to turn everything back over to the town of Waterboro, which would be the inverse of what we did in the 90s, I just don't think that they have an action plan. So I guess my suggestion is that we get them back in a workshop meeting with saying, okay, what's the deal?
Right.
Because now you're starting to impact. Now, granted, Victor and the folks there have an alternative because they're going to tap into one of the test wells that was done originally for the water system, right, back in the 90s. So there's plenty of water there. But the fact of the matter is that I think they would preferably be on the public water side, because then they don't have to test and they don't have to qualify for a public drinking water system.
Right.
Right?
What's
So-
do you have any solid reason why they can't?
They don't have enough volume,
Oh, okay.
which concerns us because
problem.
we pay $50,000 a year for fire protection, and I'm concerned that if they don't have enough volume when the school is on, all three schools are on. So you get Waterboro Elementary, the middle school, and then the complex over on West Road, both complexes over on West Road. Those are all on public water. If they're up against the max for producing water out of the 3 or 4 wells that they've got now, who's to say if we plug in and use 10 or 20 or 30 or 40,000 gallons of water
Right.
fighting a fire, whether or not they're going to shut us off,
Sustainable,
Right, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Or with these solar cars that are growing everywhere, if you got a car fire, it's a minimum of 10,000 gallons of water to put it out, and chances are it's gonna fire back up within 4 or 5 days. So, we have no accurate water for the fire department at this point.
When do you want to try to get them in for a workshop?
well, I think sooner than later.
Rumor is around town is that Maine Water has made them an offer on the water district to buy them out.
Oh, really?
They chose not to, so.
Are you okay with scheduling either one of your meetings in March?
Yeah,
So just reach out to them?
Or we can go to their meeting. I
Okay.
don't care.
I think the sooner the better, and also make sure that they understand clearly what our goal is and the conversation that we want to have with them,
Yep.
so that they can prepare.
Supposedly, they was gonna drill another well, last fall.
But that was 2 years ago, they told us that.
Yeah, and no word that it's up.
Okay.
We'll reach out to them.
Okay?
The other thing with the water district area is the tank needs to be sandblasted down to South Waterboro. And it has needed it for over 10 years. And they've done absolutely nothing to get another standpipe or a tank set up anywhere. And they've had 2 or 3 options of ways of doing it, so.
And the reason that standpipe has got 330,000 gallons of water in it is because we need that for firefighting purposes to qualify that water system as a firefighting service, right? If they take that down,
Yeah.
you know,
They have to have something in place
they might be
prior to
down for
taking
6
that down.
months, but,
So
so are we
A
gonna,
whole other tower would have to
are we gonna pay them? Are we gonna pay them for fire protection if they're down 6
Right,
months?
yeah.
So, anyway, let's get them in.
Yep.
Or go to their meeting, get them in, whatever. All right, new business, item D, discuss possible vote on the next steps for the Department of Public Works facility, and I'm gonna say facility/equipment here. Do we want to, we don't have to have the language tonight, but do we want to bring this to the voters for an affirmative vote in June?
I believe we do.
Yeah, I'll make that motion that we do bring this in front of the voters, prepare the wording, et cetera, for our June election.
Okay.
We need to get this going.
All right? Second, Dwayne?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right. Any further discussion? We had a workshop here this evening. We know what the number is. There's a facility that's got to be built, which includes a mechanic bay and whatnot, and presumably we would put that at the current public, next to the salt shed at the Public Works Department. We're not sure that all that qualifies, the ground and all that good stuff, but, we need to sort some of that stuff out.
Well,
So-
I'm glad we're having the discussion now because the cost that we're incurring now and in the future is getting to be $1 million now and then some in 3 or 4 years. And who knows if we were going to have somebody to plow in 3 or 4 years. Our current contractor is signed up for 3 years, and he's been our sole bidder for how long now?
Two
cycles.
Second term.
Yep.
So if we,
it's 5 years going on 8 now.
so if we sit here on our hands and do nothing, in 3 years, we're gonna be looking at like, why don't we do something? And these are the steps forward.
We have to do this. I mean, in my opinion, we're gonna pay now or we're gonna pay dearly later. I think the plan that we're putting in place is solid. Once the numbers are finalized, we're gonna do some advertising, for lack of better terms, but education for the public. These are big numbers, people. But as Gary said, in 2026, we're looking at 25-26, winter of 25-26, $757,000 for plowing, plus the cost of salt and sand. So you're at over $1 million already. So if anybody has questions, comments, concerns, reach out to us, and we're
Please.
more than happy to address it with you guys, or anybody for that matter, but
As I said in our meeting earlier, as I discussed it with townspeople, I asked them, what do they think we pay? And they have no idea.
Right.
100,000, 200,000, and when I tell them what we pay, they're dumbfounded. They have no idea how much money we spend on plowing our roads and sanding and salting them. It's a lot of money. $1 million is a lot of money.
Anything else?
68 miles, right?
A little bit more.
Okay, we're under 70 miles.
Yep.
just to add to that, it's $1 million for plowing, 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
Right.
So with this plan that we're working on and trying to get in place, this is a full-time
And
positions for the town. We can start doing our own work with our own people and our own equipment instead of contracting it out.
And as we said amongst ourselves, this isn't anything to do with the plow contractor doing a bad job, because they do a great job. It's all about the cost.
Correct.
And
And planning for the future.
and availability.
And availability and planning for the future.
Yep.
Yeah, it's part of our infrastructure.
Yep. Okay?
Our plowing contractor is not getting any younger,
Right.
or either is any of us, so.
Hey.
Well, I tell it the way I see it.
With the bad eye.
One tonight.
That's right.
Any other discussion? If not, I have a motion and a second to at least present something at the June referendum. We'll work on the language. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, old business. Discuss vote to add referendum question on the June ballot that was proposed by petition. Should the town of Waterboro, Maine allow medical marijuana retail business to operate in the Maine Medical Use of Marijuana Act 22, M.R.S.A, Chapter 558, C, subsection C. So this was by petition. We now have a pretty good understanding of what has to change should this pass in June. In the current zoning ordinance, it's not significant. There's a few definitions and language changes and whatnot. So we either vote for the board to accept this or to put it to the voters in June.
I'll make a motion that we put it to the voters in June. They're the ones that passed this ordinance, and I feel that it should go back to the townspeople to vote whether they want it or don't want it.
Okay?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? If not, this will be a separate warrant article referendum question on the June ballot. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay? Motion carries. We don't have a choice but to
I
petition on it.
I get it, but I can still show my opposition.
Okay? Discuss a vote to approve the minutes of the February 7th meeting.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Anything else?
It's been brought to my attention that we may have a couple or three people that we've appointed to different committees, and none of them have showed up to any of the meetings. So I would ask that the administrator look into that on attendance records and maybe bring it back to the next meeting, or...
We did receive one resignation that we will vote on next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
So that takes care of one. There's at least one more, if not two, that haven't made any meetings.
The chairperson of that committee could address that as well, too, right?
Yes, back to the selectmen.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda next go-around. Guess you can report on what we've done. Pending decisions, we're all set there. Week's action list.
Yep, I'm good.
You doing with the Waterboro?
Water District.
Who are we waiting for on town report?
The audit and just a few reports from Julie. That's it.
Okay, so do we have an idea on the audit?
Yes, thank you. The 7th is, we can tentatively plan for the next meeting will be Ron Smith.
Okay. So we'll put him on as an appointment?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll follow up with him and make sure, but that's what he'd give me for a date before.
Okay. There's nothing needing signatures. There is, just so that everybody's aware, there's a LD or HP 69, which is a reference to the Committee on Taxation. This would be to return to the former owner any excess funds remaining after the sale of a foreclosed property. I thought that was already law. I'm not sure what they're trying to
They're
change.
changing the wording of it, I believe, is the way I read that in that newsletter the other night.
And other than that, if anybody's got anything else?
Just one quick question. We didn't see the contract deputy at our last meeting for the town, and obviously there's nobody here tonight. We haven't heard from them at all, any correspondence that why they can't make it?
He was sick last week, so
Yeah.
he didn't show, he had texted me that night.
Okay,
I
about
didn't-
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the last meeting.
Okay.
And I hadn't noticed it before the meeting was over. And we did not, he wasn't on the schedule for tonight,
Okay.
but we can get him back in.
All right.
He'll be on the 7th, right?
Well, I don't know if we want him on the 7th if we have him on.
Oh, yeah.
I put him first and then Ron second.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, he's gonna
It
be,
will be more brief.
he's gonna be shot.
So, it's fine.
All right. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
All those in favor? Thank you and good night.